Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Movie Clubhouse podcast. Today, we have another exciting review for you. It is nothing else than Disney's Wish. Yes, we're going to review Disney's latest animated production, which is a movie based upon wishes. So with nothing further to do, we wish upon a star and get ready for the review. As we said, we have just watched Disney's Wish and we have some notes. Overall, we really enjoyed this film. It is a movie that features some great animation in many ways. One way is a special look that this film overall has. It is something of a colorful or watercolor style to it, and it looks really great on the big screen. How each character is designed and how the background also fits in with the character design. It blends really well and the animation looks great. We also want to praise the use of magic in this film. The use of magic that King Magnificio uses, as he is called, in the movie. This magic looks great on the big screen. But overall, this watercolor look that this film has, the Wish has, is really great. And this movie also features some really fun characters. The main character, Asha, or Asha, as she is called. She is really funny and she has some great dynamics to her. She has great chemistry with some other characters, and Ariana DeBose, the problem here is Ariana DeBose do the voice acting for Asha. But I had to see this movie at the early screening with my native language as the voices. Therefore, I mean in Swedish. So the movie was texted in Swedish and the voicing was in Swedish. I cannot really speak that much about the English voice cast. But the Swedish voice cast, I think, still did a great job with the performances and the music also, the singing. I don't have the names. I couldn't find the names of the Swedish actors and actresses that did voices for Wish in Sweden. But I think they did a great job. And I also assume that Ariana DeBose, who plays Asha, Chris Pine, who plays King Magnificio, and etc., did a great job for the English version. But as I said, there are many fun characters in this film. Some of the most fun characters is probably Valentino, this little goat, Asha, and maybe also, I won't call King Magnificio funny, but he's a great character still. There are some great songs also in this movie. I would say the songs and the music in this film is of frozen level of greatness. The screenplay is actually written by Jennifer Lee and Alison Moore. And Jennifer Lee, as you may know her, is also behind Frozen 1 and 2. Or at least 1, I think 2 also. The Frozen movies, basically. So that this movie reflects a lot of the Frozen magic, I would say, is clearly visible in the movie. Overall, the movie is directed by Chris Buck and Fawn. Now there is a really difficult aftername or surname I have to pronunciate. Vera Sundhorn. Fawn Vera Sundhorn and Chris Buck is the directors of this movie. And as I said, the film also stars Ariana DeBose as Asha, Chris Pine as King Magnificio, Alan Tudyk as Valentino, Angelique Cabral is Amaya, Jennifer Kumiyama is Dahlia, and Victor Garber is Sabino. At least for the English voice cast. For the Swedish, I could not find the name, I'm sorry. But the songs in Swedish still worked. And overall, I think this movie has some great beats. Or it just felt like the movie hit the great beats at the right point in time. Especially when it comes to the songs were great. But also story-wise, it hit all the right beats, story-wise. And there's also one character that we need to speak about, which is really cute. And that is the star, as it's called. I feel like every movie nowadays needs to have one cute character. And in this movie, it's the star. And it has some really nice animation to it. And it has a really great personality, even though it doesn't speak at all. So this star, this cute little star, is a great addition to the movie. And they will probably sell a lot of plushes in this form, the star form. So great for them, great for us. It's a very cute character. When it comes to end credits of the film, I'm going to jump a little bit. The end credits of the movie also they weren't perfect, but when the credits rolled, they basically celebrated 100 years of Disney as they do in this movie. I would say that this movie is celebrating 100 years of Disney because Disney has hit that jubileum now. So they are celebrating 100 years of Disney with these beautiful end credits with all their characters animated in gold. It looks really great. But in terms of the overall movie, Wish, I don't know if it's the perfect animated film to release on the 100 years anniversary of Disney. It's a great movie, but it could have been even better at some points. I will get more into that later. When it comes to the character Valentino, as we mentioned, the goat, the cute little goat, he's also a cute character. He's also great. He has some great voice lines, at least in Swedish. They are the same in both languages, but he delivers some funny voice lines in Swedish. He's really cute. He has some really buffed up personality, even though he's a little goat, and it feels just great. When it comes to the theme and the message of this film, I think it has something to do with that you decide or you have to choose. And basically also as the title suggests that you have to wish, or that only you can wish for certain things, and that no one can take your wish from you, and that we all are stronger together. That is something that revolves around the message and theme. Also, a fun addition, or something I noticed about the film, is that the song Wish Upon a Star is a Disney song that came previously, as it was released many years ago. I think it's featured in this film, I saw in the credits. And I wonder if this movie spawned a little bit from that song, maybe. That would be very cool or interesting if it did. When it comes to writing and dialogue, at least in Swedish, as I know, I can't speak anything of the English dialogue. But in Swedish, I think the writing felt pretty natural. There were not that many awkward or cringe moments. So it looked pretty good and it felt pretty good in terms of the voice lines. The movie also has this really expressive animation that is really great. I love it. When you see a project, either live action or animated, which has these really expressive animations or character performances, that is most often a great project. And this movie had that really expressive animation that really made you relate to the characters and feel different emotions in your heart, basically. And overall, it's a really fun movie. There are many fun moments that make you smile and laugh. And there are also great jokes in the film. I don't have any specific example of great jokes, but there are some fun jokes sprinkled in here and there. And as I said, the music in this film, it works really well. And as I said, the music in this film, there are some great songs. I don't know which is my favorite song, but I have listened through the album, the Wish album on Spotify later, because there are some bangers in this movie. As I said, there are Frozen level of good music in this film. Not as good as Frozen 1 and 2, but quite close actually. The ending of the movie was okay. It could have been more impactful, I would say, but it was still great enough, it felt like. I would say the movie was not sad enough, however. There were a little bit sad moments between Asha and her grandfather, but I would say that these moments were not sad or heartbreaking enough, because there have to be some really sad moments that make you feel for the characters. And I felt that this movie missed that part a little bit. But it felt a lot like Frozen at times, as I said. And it's the same writer of the Frozen films as is one of the writers for these movies, or this movie Wish. So I would say that they share some DNA actually, and that is great. So overall, the story, it worked well. It wasn't a perfect story, but I felt like the beats were hit at the right points in time, both musically and story-wise. And I felt like it worked. The King Magnificio was not the perfect villain, but he was a great villain. I felt like the dilemma in the story was also great, and it worked how the main characters had to overcome one objective and etc., and basically fight with the villain as they always do. But it didn't feel repetitive, and that was also great. That's an important point of most movies. If they do not feel repetitive and features a lot of expressive acting and animation, that are my two top of the line most important things when it comes to new movies, which I rate them on, at least personally. This is not my favorite Disney movie, but it is still a great one. They could have celebrated their 100 years of Disney even better, but overall it worked. I don't know how they would have done it better, maybe with another hit like Frozen 2, but this movie is as close as they probably could get. And this movie is also a lot about friendship and family, and that is something that is always great to see on the big screen. It's really, what is the word? It really motivates you a lot. And it's great for younger audience to see this about friendship and family being important on the big screen. And it's good for them to get influenced by good vibes with that kind of friendship and family stuff sprinkled in. And I also heard that this movie had maybe a 200 million budget. I don't know if that is high or low for a Disney project of this size, but I hope this movie at least comes a little bit close to hitting that budget goal when they releases officially here in Sweden on 18th of December. I know the movie has always released internationally in November, so I hope this movie comes at least close to that budget. But I'm a bit skeptical because I don't know if I have seen that much great marketing about the movie yet. So that's a bit worrying. But also the movie has a reasonable length. That is another great point of the film. It's not that long. Or it is 130, 140 long maybe. That's a reasonable length, I think. So I think most younger audience will be able to sit through this and enjoy this 1 hour and 40 minutes of wishing, basically. I also think that this movie is a lot about that no one should decide your fate, basically. That only you can decide your fate, and that no one else should be able to steer you or decide your fate. And that's a lot about, has to do with King Magnificio and how he takes or gets the wishes from other people in his kingdom, basically, and keeps them. And he decides what wish to grant or what wish to not grant. And spoiler alert, he does not grant that many wishes. Most are kept, never touched, basically. So that, I think it has a lot to do with that. The movie has a lot to do with no one should decide your fate. But another great thing, or not another, I said this like 3 times already, but one of the best things about this movie that it shares a lot of DNA with Frozen, and it has some Frozen style greatness of music in it. I really enjoyed that. If I were to rate this movie now, I would probably put it at like 4 out of 5 stars. And the pros of this movie being the beautiful animation and the really great songs. That is probably the best part of this film. And also that it features a lot of expressive animation. The one point that makes it not a 5 out of 5, it's just small things that in the story that could have been better and could have been more exciting. I have no good example right now, but it can always be better. It's certainly never perfect. And this movie is still not perfect. It's a really great film, but it's not perfect. So I would leave it at 4.0 out of 5 stars. So that is basically our concise review of Disney's Wish, which we rate at 4.5 stars. We really think that you need to get out and see this movie, get your own opinion about it, and please share it with us here at the Movie Clubhouse. Now, if you want to discuss Wish with us at the Movie Clubhouse, please reach out to us at our mail in the description or show notes, or at X, previously Twitter, we have a profile over there, or you can even reach us at YouTube. We have all our podcast episodes uploaded to YouTube, so please write to us in the comments there, and we will be happy to discuss the movie with you or answer your questions. Now, that was all for today. I have been Eddie for the Movie Clubhouse podcast. If you feel like it, please leave a review. It helps us a lot. And please subscribe to this podcast so you don't miss any of our new episodes. There are new episodes dropping every week, multiple times a week even. So be sure to do that. Now, until we see you guys the next time, have a great time watching.